Warner Brothers released a statement saying that they're going to be dropping their entire 2021 slate onto HBO Max, which is the streaming service they have ownership over. And the slate includes movies that are highly anticipated by a lot of people, like Wonder Woman 84, which actually comes out on Christmas. Merry Christmas to all the DC fans, I guess. And other movies within the next year too, such as Dune, The Matrix 4, The Conjuring 4, the Suicide Squad reboot, which is like, okay, sure, fine. Space Jam 2 with LeBron. Okay, it's also fine, I guess. What else do they got here? Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay, wait, what is this? What is this? Okay, can I have something more interesting here, please? Please? Holy shit! Warner Brothers is doing this, of course, in response to the fact that, you know, we can't really gather in large crowds and go to the movie theaters in large crowds, so how about we just push all his movies onto the streaming service for everybody to enjoy, as long as you have an HBO Max subscription, of course. And it seems as though Warner Brothers is going to follow through on this, regardless on if movie theaters open back up in a timely manner, or when it's actually deemed safe to gather in large crowds. Since the beginning of the year, it has felt like more and more fuel gets added to this dumpster fire of a year known as 2020. So, you know, movies being released on a streaming service is probably like the least of everyone's worries right now. But this is news that actually came as quite a bit of a shock to a lot of people, especially people within like the film community circle, fucking click people. So I just wanted to talk about it because it got all the little SpongeBobs in my brain working overtime trying to figure out how I feel about all of this. And isn't healthy communication the biggest key into forming strong relationships? And I just want to be able to build that with you guys because, you know, you're my little pod champs. Going to the movies has been a staple in many lives, including my own, for as long as I can remember. AKA 1905, when these two absolute chads opened up the first theater exclusively showing films, with the first and only movie being shown in these theaters, obviously being the classic Rugrats in Paris. Come on, use your brain, that's like basic film studies! And as films evolved throughout the years, movie theaters have been changing right alongside with them, providing audience members new, innovative ways to experience these movies. Movie theaters have established themselves as a social gathering place for families and friends and strangers, maybe even mortal blood enemies, to get together and watch the Rugrats get lost in Paris. But as you can tell, I'm not the History Channel, I'm the Nickelbod Channel. So all you need to know is that these songbitches have been around for a very, very long time. But then when you plop ourselves into the 2000s, a cute little baby rental service was born. Aww, so cute. And so our cute little baby boy launched a website and became the giant juggernaut that we now know as Netflix. And due to the success that our baby boy had, along with the insanely fast advancement of technology in the 2010s, streaming services started to pop off. I mean, they're everywhere, and there are just so many now. And while movie theaters weren't necessarily in trouble, DVD sales have become drier than my knees in the winter, especially nowadays with all these streaming services, and oh my god, that is stonks. And other streaming services such as Disney Plus and Apple Music, Apple TV, and HBO Max weren't even out by the time that this graph was released. So if you take these trends into account, along with the fact that we've been locked down basically all year long, unable to go to the movie theaters, unable to go to stores and buy physical copies of movies, I think it's pretty safe to assume that the gap, it's starting to widen. And even though over the years movie theater attendance has been on a much more slow and steady decline, need I remind you, we've been locked up, or at the very least have very clear restrictions in place. And going into 2021, it seems as though movie theaters are going to remain as the empty Wild West ghost town that they've been for the majority of the year, basically. I mean, unless you live in New Zealand, of course, where life must be pretty fucking sweet over there. I don't know. I don't live in Middle Earth, I just live in regular shitty Earth. Or if you live in Japan, where the box office is just a brand new bitch right now, oh my god, because the Demon Slayer movie is just raking in, I never really know how to use that phrase. Raking in all of the yen right now. Clearly movie theaters are doing just fine in other places, but as I said earlier, movie theater attendance and movie ticket sales have been on a slow and steady decline ever since the rise of streaming services. And it's not just the sheer amount of them that are out there, it's the fact that they can provide their subscribers with exclusive and original content that you can have access to thanks to ExpressVPN. I'm just kidding. I have like 90-some subscribers. I'm not sponsored. With all that being said though, I don't think that this Warner Brothers news is all negative. I actually do think that there are some positives, and I definitely like to acknowledge that. I believe a lot of smaller independent filmmakers could benefit greatly from this. Those people who had trouble getting their movies into an AMC because AMC is just a Speaking of AMC, if other production companies follow suit with what Warner Brothers is doing, maybe movie theater companies like AMC will start to look at their overpriced premiums and think to themselves, maybe $15 for a movie ticket and $10 for a small popcorn is a little unreasonable. Before the pandemic, it was already difficult for these low-budget films to get shown in bigger theaters. For the most part, these low-budget films would have to be screened at like a more smaller, low-key movie theater, or would have to be screened at like a film festival or something like that. But because of streaming services, those movies that you may have missed out on in theaters because maybe the theater closest to you was only playing Rugrats in Paris can be readily accessed to you through Netflix or Amazon or Hulu or whatever other streaming service that you can barf out. And streaming services in general are just more willing to throw up a Hail Mary at these shows and movies that lean a little bit more towards the eccentric side. At the end of the day, these companies are losing money. It is not stocks for them. So making their highly anticipated movies available to subscribers is the smart business move, even if it does cost them the good graces of some of the most prolific film directors working right now, like Jesus Christ, Christopher Nolan. Those are some fighting words, dude. I'm more than certain that these production companies would have much rather had people go to the movie theaters and have to pay the price of admission to watch their film. Disney would have made a lot more money off of Mulan if it were in theaters, because Pops over here would have had to pay $15 per ticket for himself, his wife, and his 3 other kids. Look, I'm not trying to be a fucking bootlicker for any of these companies, but I just understand that we have all had to settle, at least until we're finally able to blast particles at each other again. And people who are more vulnerable to those particles will have access to these highly anticipated movies that they might be excited for in the comfort of their own homes. And some people, they just don't like going out. They just don't like going to the movie theaters. Not everyone is willing to spend close to $20 to be packed in a dark little box with a horny couple next to you and shitty teenagers behind you having a full-on WWE match, just sweet chin music over and over to the back of your seat. I wouldn't be surprised if there are people out there who actually view going to the movie theater as the same thing as like going to a casino. This may be weird coming from me, but honestly, when you go to the movie theaters and you go to watch a movie, because you know, that's what you do at a movie theater, it could be seen as the same thing in a weird way. No matter how many times you hear critics say, if I do remember correctly, according to my notes, the cinematography in this film is indeed quite crisp, and the color correction is real exquisite. The symbolism of the curtains behind the... Or maybe hearing your friends say, dude, the action was incredible, the way he jumped out of that plane was just the sickest thing, it looked so fucking real. There's still the possible chance that you might not even like the movie at all. And if you do go for broke on a movie and it just ends up being a... then what the fuck was even the point? That is money and time that you will never be able to get back, all because you took the chance that maybe XXX Return of Xander Cage might have been a good movie, I don't know, it sounded like fun. The critics said that the cinematography was crisp. So I'm not saying that streaming services are like the devil incarnate and we need to get our pitchforks and torches and burn down the offices of Netflix and Hulu and... What I'm trying to say here is that it's not just accessibility that matters. What matters is also the experience. Let's be real with ourselves, a lot of us watch these movies and shows off of our shitty laptops with our shitty laptop speakers. If not our shitty laptop speakers, then we will connect our shitty headphones to the shitty laptops that have the shitty laptop speakers. And to some people, that's enough. And that's totally fine. Not everyone has that LeBron James type of money with a house with a built-in movie theater, and not every average-ass motherfucking Joe-ass bitch nipple-ass motherfucker knows the type of high-quality sound systems will give off the proper decibels to properly feel that one seismic charge sound from Attack of the Clones that just gives off all the sensations in the butthole. Oh! As of June 2019, only about 14% of American adults go to the movie theaters at least once a month. And then that number shoots up to 46% once you take into account the amount of American adults who go to the movie theaters at least once a year. I used to go to the movie theaters at least twice a week. By myself. I even used to vlog going to the movie theaters. Why did I ever think that a vlog of me going to Rampage and reviewing that fucking movie would be the least bit entertaining? Who the fuck did I think I was? But that's just how much going to the movies was a part of my lifestyle, my routine. I'm not saying that every generic romantic comedy that comes out that has a montage sequence with Home by Philip Phillips is worth paying $15 for. But come on, you know there are just some movies that you have to see for the first time in theaters. You're really gonna tell me that you're okay with watching Dune on your shitty laptop with your shitty headphones? Your headphones don't even work! You can't even hear out of your right ear, but at least get new headphones? But I get it, I know, I understand, it's different for everyone. Sometimes I don't even want to watch certain movies in theaters. I can only take so many Home by Philip Phillips montages. It's just that the cinematic experience, to me, is a lot like a bunch of other things for a lot of other different people. When was the last time you went to a concert? Or just saw live music in general? There are so many people who I know who are just frothing at the mouth for some live music. And yeah, these artists, they're doing their best with like the live streams and the drive-in concerts. But come on. Come on! Come on! You know that's just not the same. That feeling of being in a stadium or an arena or a small little venue or even like a little club and being captivated by the performer is just something that cannot be captured when you're just listening to music at home. If you've ever been to an opening night or a premiere event or a film festival, there is an excitement, there is an elation, even a little bit of an anxiousness, and also just the thick, savory smell of some movie theater popcorn that just fills up the air. Don't you miss that smell of movie theater popcorn? That shit hits different, dude. That type of electricity in the air that's present on like an opening night or a film festival is the same type of feeling that you get when you go to a concert or a Game 7 of an NBA Finals or a convention or anything, any sort of live experience that you can think of. And getting yourself immersed into a really good movie that you're seeing for the first time, where the sound system is deafening, and the visuals are just taking over your entire peripheral, that shit can take you on a journey. And that shit, honestly, it adds to that movie watching experience. I really do miss all of that. Going to the movie theaters, going to concerts, going to conventions, going to sports games. And maybe it's just because we can't actually do that right now in America. I'm still honestly kind of nervous that people are just gonna be taking those experiences for granted. While it is absolutely awesome that we have access to all this great media and great art just in a matter of seconds, I just don't want these big booty ass businesses to get complacent. And I don't want us as like just the common folk to get complacent either. I'm not saying to go cancel your subscriptions. Honestly, I'm just as bad in a way. All my music and my video games are all digitally downloaded. So even I, on my high and mighty throne, can succumb to the convenience. It's just very important to remind yourself that as awesome as streaming services are for providing you with a nice, cozy little warm media blankie for you to snuggle with when you're having a bad day, you're also at the mercy of those streaming services when they decide they just want to take your blankie away. But if you own a Blu-ray, or a CD, or a cartridge, or a vinyl, or a hardcover copy, or a fucking VHS tape, I mean, as long as you don't fucking toss that shit into a volcano, that shit's yours forever. While you can watch a movie on your phone and still probably enjoy it regardless, you're still gonna try to go to concerts even though you have a Spotify account. You're still gonna try to watch Hamilton on Broadway, even though it's on Disney Plus readily available for you at any given time. You're still gonna try to get courtside tickets to that basketball game, even though
Hulu has live sports.
So as things begin to slowly but surely open back up in this godforsaken country, please try not to take for granted all the different ways that you can experience the things that you love doing, just for the sake of convenience. So yeah, moral of the video is be appreciative of shit, because you never know when the things that you love doing can be taken away from you. What else? Please, for the love of God, wear a mask. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your time with this video. I hope you're looking forward to even more videos in the future. Just thank you so much for sticking through with me. I really am thankful for every single one of you. I wish you all a happy and safe holidays. I wish you all a happy and safe New Year's as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.